March Madness makes one last stand here today in Peoria. It's the final day of the high school boys basketball season. Hello and welcome to Carver Arena in downtown Peoria. I'm Lee Hall. Welcome wherever you're watching on the IHSA TV network today. Number 2 and number 6 in the final poll started off today playing for third place in Class 3A. It's North Lawndale against Chicago Leo. Here for the call of the game, Kurt Pegler and Bill Hitt.
Thank you, Lee, and welcome to the final day of high school basketball in the state of Illinois. Championship Saturday. Kurt Pegler along with former Proviso East head coach Bill Hitt. We start things off with a third place game in Class 3A. A couple of teams in Chicago North Lawndale and Chicago Leo that perhaps thought they'd be playing for the big trophy. They're playing for third place today.
You know, you don't never know exactly what you're going to get from a third place game, but I think with these two Chicago teams, we're going to see a lot of up-tempo and a lot of pride at stake.
Let's take a look at how these two teams made their way to the finals here in Peoria. We'll start with Leo, a sectional semifinal win over Kenwood and then a victory over Harper to win the sectional championship, and then defeated Brooks, had to come from behind to win that super sectional game at Chicago State on Tuesday before losing at the buzzer in the state semifinal to Oswego 56-55 yesterday. The road to Peoria for 29-5 North Lawndale, including a victory over Glenbard, South Glen Ellen in the sectional semifinal, and then took out West Chester St. Joe's in the sectional championship game. A victory on Tuesday at the Sears Center in Hoffman Estates, the super sectional over North Chicago, before a nail-biting loss to Champaign Centennial 66-65 in the state semis yesterday. Let's talk about some of the key players. We talked a lot about James Pointer yesterday for Leo, but he's got a pretty good running mate in Darren Johnson, does he not?
He sure does. Darren Johnson has played big for them all year. Yesterday, semifinal, no exception. He had 19 points. He provides not only that scoring punch, but a lot of defense and leadership.
Jonathan Mills is a first-team All-State player for North Lawndale, but Zilligan Jones has come off the bench and really given his team a lift. We'll keep our eyes on him today.
You know, Z Jones had an outstanding game yesterday. 11 points off the bench. I believe he's starting today. 4 assists and just tenacious defense. He's been a key component of that pressure defense for North Lawndale all year.
Okay, Bill, let's break down this game and give the folks something to watch. As far as the keys to the game, we'll start with Leo, and the keys are brought to you by the tire and wheel experts, Waukegan Tire in Waukegan, Park City, and Grays Lake.
Leo gives up so many inches in the paint. They have to hit the boards. They have to have team rebounding. All year they've talked about being a fourth quarter team. It kind of abandoned them yesterday in the semifinal. They will have to be sharp and strong in the fourth quarter. And yesterday they were 3 for 16 from the perimeter from three-point shots. They're going to have to do better than that if they're going to have a chance in this third place game.
What are the keys for North Lawndale? They finished first last year in Class 2A. They're trying to finish third in Class 3A this year.
You know, the very first thing, they're going to have to get that loss out of their mind. They have to get over it. They have to just realize they can't play backwards and look ahead. They have such a big height advantage. I look at them pounding the ball into the paint offensively. They're just going to try to score and dominate with their size. And they have such a deep bench, they're going to look to wear down, I believe, with their pressure all over the court.
It's Chicago Public League against Chicago Catholic League for third place in Class 3A boys basketball. And you'll see it up next here on the IHSA Television Network. We are getting set for Class 3A boys basketball here in Peoria. Third place game between the 27-5 Lions of Chicago Leo and the 29-4 Chicago North Lawndale Phoenix. Both of these teams, again, losing heartbreakers at the Horn in a semifinal Friday. Perhaps that's unmatched in IHSA history, huh, Bill?
Well, you know, in going back in my memory, I can't think of 2 semifinals in at least in the last 20 years that were more exciting and went down to the final shot like those two did. And I'm looking for these two teams really, after a few minutes, to just come out and get it.
You see the breakdown of these two schools really as the crow flies. They're only about 10 miles apart if you were to take a look at their campuses in Chicago. Obviously both in Cook County. Their enrollment's almost identical. Leo plays in the Catholic League and North Lawndale plays in the Public League. So you've got a couple of crosstown rivals, if you will. North Lawndale on the near north side, Leo on the south side. They're doing battle in Peoria for the third place trophy.
You know, they came a long way to have this grudge match, and as you said, I think both of them were kind of hoping it occurred in the championship game. But there's a lot of pride at stake. Kids see each other over the summer. They don't want to lose to one another. And I think both teams, again, after a few minutes, we'll see a lot of determination and up and down basketball.
Let's meet the players. We'll go to our public address announcer, Paul Herzog.
Good morning, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association and the City of Peoria, welcome to America's Original March Madness. It's Carver Arena for the third place game in 3A for 2009 boys, featuring the Chicago Leo Lions 27-5 and the North Lawndale Phoenix at 29-5. Let's meet the starting lineups. At a guard for Leo, a 5'10 senior. 1, James Pointer. At a guard for North Lawndale, a 6-foot senior. 10, Terry Johnson. The second guard for the Lions, a 6'2 senior. 5, Darren Johnson. The second guard for the Phoenix, a 5'11 senior. 23, John Taylor. The third guard for Chicago Leo, a 5'10 junior. 10, Malcolm McFarland. The third guard for the North Lawndale Phoenix, a 5'9 senior. 24, Z. Jones. And the fourth guard for the Lions, a 6'3 junior. 13, Isaac Smith. And a forward for the Phoenix, a 6'5 senior. 4, Jonathan Mills. At a forward for Leo, a 6'4 senior. 20, Darwin Rogers. The other forward for North Lawndale, a 6'4 junior. 44, Jermaine Winfield. Head coach for Chicago Leo in his 6th season there, a record of 143-43, Noah Cannon. Head coach for North Lawndale, 11 years in the career, 9 for the Phoenix, a record of 223-60, Lewis Thorpe. As the players and coaches wish each other good luck at half court, the IHSA Board of Directors and member schools expect to promote good sportsmanship from all athletes, coaches, students, parents, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Do what's right. No other state in America can claim the rich history and traditions generated by March Madness, Illinois. It's America's original March Madness. Please direct your attention to the arena floor and meet the officials for this game. The referee from Hinsdale, Eddie Monahan. From Zion, Craig Bunton. And from Homewood, Jim Utterback. Presenting the game ball for this third place game would be Bill Spears, City Council, Peoria, one of the sponsors of the March Madness Experience next door in the exhibit hall. We thank the Peoria City Council for their contribution to the greatest high school single event in the land.
And we thank Walgreens for sponsoring the pregame handshake. Walgreens, a proud sponsor of the IHSA's Do What's Right, Good Sportsmanship campaign. Let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Meijer. Check us out at Shop for Meijer, or shop for more at Meijer.com. Leo has Pointer, Johnson, McFarland, Smith, Rogers, North Lawndale, Johnson, Jones, Taylor, Mills, and Winfield. The same starting fives for both teams outside of the Phoenix having Z. Jones in the lineup to start the game as opposed to Miles Mayfield. And as you said, Bill, a couple of teams very familiar with each other, at least because they're separated by about 10 miles. So when you talk about the AAU circuit and all that, they're very, very familiar with each other. And what we're seeing here is a technical foul to start the game. This is what happened yesterday. North Lawndale getting a technical foul for what the IHSA is deeming as an illegal uniform. Their stripes evidently are not uniform by the state's rules, and so that was a big factor yesterday. It's going to be talked about for years and years and years. They got a technical foul yesterday and lost that championship game or that semifinal game by a point, and here again being assessed a technical to open this one.
You know, the rule's the rule, and I think what Coach Thorpe was talking about was bigger even maybe than the point, although obviously the point looked huge at the end of the game, is the fact that after you received one technical foul, you're not allowed to stand up and coach. And so many coaches, you know, that's part of what they do. And so it was a big adjustment, I think, for him.
And that is a national federation rule, not just necessarily an IHSA rule. That's a national rule they adhere to.
Exactly. You know, it's part of the rule, and I think part of the issue was why it hadn't been enforced earlier.
So Leo starts but can't complete its first play. And how about that? Right down the lane and dunking is Jermaine Winfield. So after giving up the technical foul, North Lawndale comes down and now has the lead at 2-1.
You know, and they started out in a 2-3 zone, which is a little interesting for them. They have played that and play it during the year, but we see a lot more man-to-man, a lot more up-tempo pressure in the backcourt.
Leo in its dark road jerseys. There's a 3-ball from the outside. Darren Johnson, and in the white uniforms, bringing the ball up the floor now is North Lawndale. We're just underway. This is the Class 3A third place game between Chicago North Lawndale and Chicago Leo. We're glad you're alongside here on the IHSA Television Network. Don't forget, Oswego and Champaign Centennial play for the championship in Class 3A boys hoops after this one. Fadeaway jumper is in. North Lawndale's hit its first 2 shots. That's John Taylor.
Here we see the 2-2-1 press that they do such a good job of. Looking at trap in the backcourt, trap on the wings once they get the ball across the center line.
There's that trap in the corner. Jones in all kinds of trouble. The ball is out of bounds, and it's going to go to North Lawndale.
What North Lawndale does so well, in my opinion, is just attack relentlessly in pressure in different parts of the court.
Didn't take long for Z. Jones to fire up the shot. He can't get it go. There's Mills. He's the terrific rebounder. In fact, his head coach Lewis Thorpe thinks that Jonathan Mills is the best rebounder that he's ever coached, as you get a good look there at the daptly attired Lewis Thorpe and North Lawndale. What a 4-year run they've had, huh? 4 straight appearances here at state. They won the Class 2A championship a year ago. They were the runner-up in Class 1A the year before that, and guaranteed to bring home a trophy here. So a 4-year run that North Lawndale's had is just outstanding.
Right, 3 trophies in 3 different classes. That's a first.
And Mills, again, the first team All-State performer. A terrific baseball player. In fact, the coaching staff says, you know, as good as he is in basketball, he's a better pitcher.
Wow.
That's hard to believe.
That really is.
Steal off the inbounds. Johnson couldn't finish. Ball was stripped and out of bounds. Terry Johnson had to look down low, but he couldn't finish off the steal.
You know, after that made free throw, they went to an odd front zone press. They put Jonathan Mills at 6'5" on the ball, and they're looking to trap the ball when it comes into one of the corners right away. The ball was passed to the wrong player, but otherwise they're looking to trap whenever they can.
And there's Johnson's going to try the 3, can't get it to go, and there's going to be a foul on Winfield over the back. North Lawndale, you take a look at their highs and lows as we showed you the Leo highs and lows. They can score it in a hurry. 98 points on 2 separate occasions this year, and their lowest was a 53-point performance against a team from Ohio back in December. We've played about 2 minutes of this third place game here in Class 3A boys basketball. North Lawndale with a 6-4 advantage. Leo with the ball. Here's Pointer. Everything goes through him. That ball went, however, through the legs of Darren Johnson and out of bounds. Both teams trying to really get some emotion. You have to wonder where their psyche is going to be today. Both teams losing at the horn essentially yesterday in semifinal games and trying to come back here disappointed, no doubt, not playing for the championship game, but have to come back and see if they can't win a third place game less than 24 hours after emotional losses.
Yeah, that's very, very hard. It's hard for the coaches to get their heads on. It's hard for the players. And what I've seen in the past is after a few minutes, the kids get going and they just like to play basketball, and I think we'll see that. Darwin Rogers picked up his 2nd foul. That's a big problem for them. They're not really deep on in their bench. Gatewood has played a lot for him. He comes into the ball game, but they can't afford to lose a lot of their starters, especially their inside players.
Second free throw for Mills won't go. Ball is out of bounds. Is it going to go back to North Lawndale? It looked like it did. It was off of the foot of Leo's Darren Johnson.
And Terry Johnson for North Lawndale did a nice job of digging at that rebound. And again, when you rebound the ball, you can't bring it down. These North Lawndale guards will just take it from you.
Here's Winfield. And the foul is going to go against Leo. Again, that's on Johnson. Darren Johnson's had a rough couple of minutes to open this game up. Right.
Did a nice job. Just got too close to him when he has his dribble. You've got to give him a little bit more space so that you can react to the jab step or to the quick dribble.
Both of these teams in recent memory tasting championships again last year. The 2A champion North Lawndale, and then Noah Cannon won a championship in 2004, Class A championship. Outside jumper good. In fact, that's a 3. That's John Taylor. He didn't play last year because of academics, so he's trying to cash in on his best opportunity on this floor at Carver Arena.
Right, he's a great scorer. That play was set up, though, by Z. Jones, who penetrated and kicked it out.
Well, Jones terrific yesterday in doing that, kind of the penetrate and the kick, and so he's off to a good start doing that here this morning.
I really enjoy watching him play. They're in a 2-3 zone. He's 5'9". He's playing back where the forwards play.
Yeah.
You know, so that it tells you how strong he is, and just a smart player.
James Pointer trying to direct traffic from the top of the circle now. This is Johnson. Shot is blocked. Mills got that one. Took it right out of Malcolm McFarland's hand. Now quickly back down the floor, and a three-point opportunity coming for Terry Johnson. And there's that transition.
Just a great finish by Terry Johnson. You got Mills, who steps up, makes a big block, and then kicks it out. And you look at the body control of Terry Johnson. He just gets bumped, knows he's going to get bumped, concentrates to finish. That play started with Jonathan Mills, just really smart in the paint, read the jump shot, blocked it, controlled his own block, and then led the fast break.
We mentioned that John Taylor didn't play last year because of academics, and Terry Johnson last year didn't play with the team that made it to state because he was at St. Rita and it transferred over. North Lawndale off to a quick start, 13-4, the Phoenix lead. Back with more from the state tournament after this local timeout.
James, 4-year varsity player, 3-year starter. It starts with James, ends with James. The ball's going to be in his hands and most of the end of the game. Great kid, very passionate, want to win.
Talking about number 1, James Pointer, the 5'10", 180-pound senior guard. Everything really, from the Leo standpoint, runs through James Pointer.
He does so much for them on both ends of the court. He's one of their better defenders, really smart with the ball. We've got several all-state players. He's a second-team Illinois Basketball Coaches Association all-state pick. Just really strong with the ball.
Z. Jones with the steal, took it right out of the hands. And now back and forth. We might see some of this up and down. One turnover leads to another. Quickly down the floor and scoring in transition. Nicely done. Isaac Smith laid it in.
This might end up just like they play on the park a little bit.
Exactly.
They might want to call their own.
Down the floor, and ball is hacked and out of bounds, but it's going to be a foul against Leo. You're right. This is the kind of game that you're excited when you kind of stumble on it in the park and you say, "Ooh, this could be a pretty good basketball game." We might see some of that here today.
Well, I think we will.
We're seeing some substitutions coming to the table here. In fact, there's going to be 3 subs coming in for the Phoenix. But first is James Pointer to the free throw line. He had a 35-point game earlier this year against Shepherd. He had a 31-point game against Simeon. So he's got those nights when he can just fill it up.
What makes him so good is he is very, very strong with the ball. He's explosive off the dribble, and he also has a great perimeter game. So he's really hard to defend.
Stephen Thorpe has checked in the game, as has Dante Dangerfield for North Lawndale. Ball is out of bounds. It's going to go back to Leo. Leo has sent Paul Bean, who's a 5'9" sophomore guard, into the game too. So both of these coaches enjoy using their bench, that's for sure. And we'll see a lot of players here this afternoon.
Well, North Lawndale sometimes will substitute effectively all 5 players.
Bean the miss, the long rebound by Stephen Thorpe. He's the coach's son. Coach Lewis Thorpe has a pair of sons on the team told us on Thursday he loves coaching his son. How about that pass? It was slipped from Dangerfield right down to Mills, and he laid it in.
Absolutely great pass. You know, court awareness, court vision.
Here's Bean now running the show. Again, he's the sophomore guard. He defers now to Pointer. Under 3.5 to go, opening quarter. North Lawndale out to a 15-6 lead over Leo in the third place game. And now another steal. Quickly down the floor. Can it be saved? Yes, it can be saved. That's John Taylor.
They do that so well. They kick that ball ahead, and they're able to do it out of the zone even more effectively than they do out of the man-to-man. When there's a turnover, they just start flying.
Bean's going to try a three. Rims out. Dangerfield the rebound for North Lawndale. Nobody's walking the ball up the floor. They're all picking it up. This is going to be an up-tempo game here, folks. Thorpe back to Dangerfield. Hangs, fires in the lane, and that's in. North Lawndale has made 7 of its first 10 shots from the field, Bill, and that's why they're out to a 19-6 advantage.
Absolutely. You know, and again, a lot of them are pretty high percentage shots where they're getting good looks. They're getting the ball up into the paint on transition. We'll see that continue as long as they're able to rebound. Most of these have come off of turnovers, though.
Noah Cannon calls timeouts for the Lions. Going to try to get his team to regroup. Down 13 here in the opening quarter. But as we saw yesterday, double-digit leads can evaporate. Both of these teams were on the losing end of that scenario where they lost double-digit leads late in the third quarter. Oswego coming from behind to beat Leo, and Centennial coming from behind to beat North Lawndale. So you can bet that nobody is counting this game over just yet.
No, and Leo's capable of scoring points in a bunch. You know, interestingly, in that semifinal loss, North Lawndale had 13 turnovers, and Champaign only 5. And that was a huge key because they really do such a good job. In their super sectional victory over North Chicago, they forced 26 turnovers. Right now, Leo has 6 already in the first quarter. You know, not that you want to look at just one thing, but I really think that that's so much a part of what they do to put pressure on the ball and create turnovers, that if we see more of that, we're going to just see a point explosion.
Leo returned the bulk of the team last year that really put together a nice season before being eliminated by Simeon in the sectional title game. Last year's team was 24-8, so all along Noah Cannon thought that this team could be pretty dangerous. And of course, North Lawndale did the same thing, brought back just a huge chunk of the team they played in the 2A championship game. So both of these teams had very high goals and high aspirations of playing on the final day of the season. They just hoped they'd be playing for the big trophy instead of the third place trophy.
Absolutely. And we're seeing you know, North Lawndale staying in that zone. Nice jump shot there by Isaac Smith on the wing.
Ball is deflected and a steal. That was McFarland who came away with it. Now Pointer, tough shot, can't get it to go. Boy, Leo did a great job crashing the boards yesterday and trying to do it again here today. Ball is out of bounds. That's going to go to North Lawndale. The Lions really do attack the glass. You know,
they're not big, but they are relentless on the boards. We saw yesterday in that semifinal, especially in the first quarter, just rebound after rebound. They couldn't get them to go down. You know, the second shot and third shot basket attempts.
We're under 2 minutes to go here. Opening quarter of the Class 3A, third place game between North Lawndale and Leo. Kurt Pegler along with Bill Hitt, our sideline reporters Lee Hall, and our IHSA Television Network crew. 4 games today. We'll have new state champions in 3A and 4A. This is our third place game in 3A. Now another steal. Malcolm McFarland, foot race all the way down. Pump, hangs, can't get it to go. Good defense that time.
Miles Mayfield's one of their better defensive players. Did a great job there avoiding contact and disrupting the shot.
Dangerfield was fouled as he tried to penetrate on the baseline. We're going to see Paul Bean re-enter the game here for Leo. Bean is going to come in, and he's going to send Malcolm McFarland back to the bench. That foul is on Rogers, Darwin Rogers. 15th foul now against Leo here in this opening quarter. Dangerfield to trigger from the baseline. And his pass is picked off. Isaac Smith again. He's been in the middle of a couple of those tight plays. All the way down, tried to attack, and he's fouled. It was Mayfield this time. Last time Mayfield came back and defended the play nicely. This time he's guilty of the foul.
Yeah, you know, and you see him go strong here and try to get position, and then just got his hands in the way a little bit. Nice strong move to the basket.
I thought it was interesting what Noah Cannon told us on Thursday about this young man, about Isaac Smith, said that he really had to sacrifice his game this year for the betterment of the team, let some of the other guys get some of the points, but he said he's going to be a better player for it next year, and his expectations will be big for next season.
You know, good teams have established roles, and the kids that are able to accept the roles they have contribute in so many other ways.
Tough shot through the lane, Mayfield. He's come off the bench and given a lot of energy on the floor right now for the Phoenix. We're under a minute to go here in this opening quarter. North Lawndale with a 21-8 lead over Chicago Leo. Now right down the lane, scoop shot is no good. That was Smith again, but another offensive rebound again for Leo.
And Darwin Rogers is just a load on the boards. Only 6'4", but he does so many great things with his body, getting inside position and just relentlessly going after the rebound.
Looks like he's trying to adjust the contact lens. He may have been poked in the eye. Rogers, you mentioned it, Bill. He's 6'4" to 210, well-built, great physique. He's a football player, the quarterback of the football team, and he's going to play football next year at the University of Illinois. And he brings kind of that football mentality to the basketball floor.
Right, right. You know, a lot of times people think of basketball as a non-contact sport. that is absolutely not the case.
They should come down here and sit real close and see if it's a non-contact sport. Rogers, as we mentioned, not only a football player, but just considered one of the team leaders. He's a 3-year varsity player, so he has the experience. And finishing his high school basketball career on the final day of the season for a trophy in Peoria. And now a steal. Quick hands, Paul Bean, and he's going to lay it in. So Leo now in double digits now. It's a 10-point game at 21-11 as we approach the final half minute of this opening quarter.
Leo showing a little bit of full court pressure there.
Is that going to be a travel? It is. Miles Mayfield got tied up there. Now coming back into the game is John Gatewood. He's a senior forward, 6'4", 210 for Leo. And it looks like Darwin Rogers is going right back into the locker room. He's probably going to get that contact lens looked out. He appeared to be having a hard time with it while he was at the free throw line. Now Pointer all the way down. He penetrates around one defender, tried to slip the pass. Ball's on the floor, in and out of the hands of Isaac Smith. Smith somehow still on the floor. Big scrum for it. And the alternate possession, the arrow is pointing in favor of the Phoenix.
Yeah, Pointer that time did everything but put the ball in his hands. He just could not get his hands on it. Pass was made maybe a little bit low, but a great job penetrating on Pointer's behalf.
John Taylor now coming back in for North Lawndale, and he'll send Miles Mayfield to the Phoenix bench. 17.3 seconds to go here, opening quarter. North Lawndale with the basketball and a 10-point lead in this third place game in Class 3A. Now here's Stephen Thorpe quickly up the floor. Three in. How about that? Right off the bench, and John Taylor knocks down his second three of the game.
That was about a 24-footer.
And now a near steal. Is that going to be an over and back? It is. So with 2.5 seconds to go now in the quarter, North Lawndale has another opportunity to add to their lead.
You know what we've seen a little bit on both sides. Again, a little bit more, a little less at stake. Probably a little bit more dribbling than either coach would like.
In fact, North Lawndale just turned it over on the inbound, so Leo's going to get an opportunity with 1.3 seconds to go in the quarter to try and score before the horn here. We saw a 3-point buzzer beater at the end of the first quarter in the game between Leo and Oswego yesterday. See if the Lions can try to do the same thing. Ball is tipped, and Paul Bunch just blocked that shot. I tell you, 5'9" Paul Bean had no chance of getting that one off. 8 minutes in the books, first quarter. It's 24-11 North Lawndale. Back with more from Peoria after these messages from our network sponsors.
This IHSA telecast is brought to you by Country Financial. For a no-obligation insurance and financial review, call the Country Financial representative near you. At Country, we always ask, what's your idea of financial security?
Back at Carver Arena in downtown Peoria, North Lawndale, the 24-11 lead over Chicago Leo. Of course, you can see this internationally on FoxJocks.com. There are other international media here. Roberto Gatta is here from Italy. This is his magazine, American Super Basket, that's published in Italy, and Joe Smith is on the cover. It says, "I'm not LeBron." What brings you to March Madness here this weekend, Roberto?
Well, the original March Madness. We usually cover the NBA and NCAA with some high school sports sprinkled in, and I thought it was the right time to cover the original March Madness just before what people think is the real March Madness in Italy, which is the NCAA. I know I'm not supposed to say this, and I want to tell people that this is in Peoria the original March Madness, the conclusion of the original March Madness, and I want to tell people about what goes on and why thousands of people are actually watching high school games.
Yeah, you said people in Italy can't understand why people would come and watch. That many people would come and watch high school games. What are your thoughts after one day you saw two of the best semifinals ever yesterday?
Yeah, fantastic basketball, and the fact that the kids care. For some of them, it may be their last chance to play competitive, top-notch basketball. So I really love that thing, just like I love watching NCAA and see how those kids are perhaps playing their best game of their lives.
Overall, how much interest in American basketball is there in Italy?
Oh, there is huge interest. Daily newspapers, and there's print a lot about NBA basketball, and there's one NBA game live every night, which is at 2 or 3 a.m. It takes a lot of passion to watch that.
Roberto Gatta, pleasure to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
All right, enjoy your stay, and ciao. I think that's the only Italian I know. Back to you.
They get it in Italy. They understand it in Italy. That says everything, doesn't it?
Well, he hit the nail right on the head.
Take a look at those first quarter statistics. Brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. 24-11, North Lawndale the lead at the end of the quarter.
You know, and you look at the rebounding, that's one of the things that we thought was going to be an important key to this game, whether Leo could rebound, giving up so many inches, and the points in the paint that they're able to, that North Lawndale's able to score off their own rebounding.
Another three. Right now, John Taylor is getting real comfortable at the three-point arch. He's got 3 threes. He's got 13 points, 3 of 3 from beyond the arc here in the third place game.
You know, he's just comfortable. He's open. He's getting those good looks, and you know, once a shooter gets in that zone, they're supposed to keep shooting.
Darwin Rogers has now re-entered the game for Leo as he sends John Gatewood back to the bench. Again, he was poked in the eye towards the end of the first quarter, and perhaps his contact lens needed to be adjusted, so he's back in the game now. And now a steal off the inbounds pass. Here's Taylor, he's got the hot hand. He's going to lay it in this time. Tough shot there. He can score from the arch, and he can score in transition. Pointer, other end for Leo, off the glass and in. Up and down action here. 31-13 North Lawndale leads Leo. He's going to pass up the three this time. Jerry Johnson tried the three, couldn't get it. Winfield, offensive rebound, he sticks it back in.
Just did a great job of getting inside position when he saw the shot go up.
Jermaine Winfield playing at a very high level right now, according to his coach, even after he was shot in the thigh earlier this season. He still has a bullet lodged into his thigh because doctors did not want to take it out for fear of causing some additional nerve damage. So he's playing with that. There's another offensive rebound for Jermaine Winfield, and he's going to get a three-point opportunity.
You know, you wonder how after 3 straight great swishes you can shoot an air ball, but I think he's going to tell his coach that was a pass.
Yeah, he's lobbying for an assist there. Again, the story with Winfield is that he was coming home from a game and involved in some sort of a skirmish outside the gym, and a bullet found its way into his right thigh. It's still in there, and it took a little while for him to kind of get back to the, according to the coaching staff, to his level of play, but he's there now.
You know, he does such a great job. We talked earlier a little bit about role players, and his role is to defend, to rebound, and to get putbacks. And he doesn't look to do what he's not capable of doing, or at least what his role is not. He's great underneath the basket. He's got a nice touch. Every once in a while, he'll pull up that 10-footer, and he can make that shot, but he doesn't shoot a lot of them.
Leo quickly down the floor in transition. Dominic Evans could not finish, but Paul Bean can. For North Lawndale, doesn't take long getting the ball back up the floor too. Z Jones, his three is no good. He goes and gets his own rebound, penetrates, draws contact, and now he's going to get a couple of free throws.
Did a nice job there following up his shot. And again, you're right, they just kick that ball up so quickly. You see the shot from the corner, follows it up. Every guard is a big man at heart with
That's
that
right.
little jump hook there.
5'9", 170, but he plays a lot bigger than that, that's for sure. And this is the guy that has the most experience, really, out of all the North Lawndale players. We talk about 4 consecutive years going to state. This young man, I mean, how many players? It's a very small percentage that can say they've been to the state tournament 4 consecutive years, playing on the last weekend of the season. And this is one of those guys that can say he's done that. North Lawndale 3 years ago was beaten by Chillicothe IVC in the state quarterfinals. Then we mentioned they played in the Class 1A state championship game, finished runner-up there. Last year beat Peoria Manual in the 2A game, and here playing for the 3rd place trophy in the 3A game. And Z Jones a part of all 4 of those teams. Here's Pointer. Shot is no good. It's cleared by Mills. Back in transition. Up the floor. His pass too much, though, for the 5'9" Z Jones.
You know, this is probably as late in the season as a Chicago public school and a Chicago Catholic school have played each other. But years ago, before the Catholic League entered the Illinois High School Association, after the state tournament, the Chicago public school winner would play the Chicago Catholic League winner in a, at the time, just a huge game. They lost that a little bit as the years went on. In 1973, Hirsch with Ricky Green were state champions, and they refused, after winning the state championship, they refused to play the Catholic League. They were done. We won a state championship. There was nothing for them to gain. In 1974, that was the last Chicago public Catholic game. They played it at the old amphitheater for, us graybeards listening. And that was played after the state championship. In that game, Hales defeated Morgan Park. And then in 1975, the Catholic League entered the Illinois High School Association, and so by rule, there were no games after the state tournament.
And now it's the Chicago Public League against the Chicago Catholic League for 3rd place in Class 3A boys basketball today. North Lawndale with a 37-18 lead. Back after this local timeout. North Lawndale 37-19, the lead over Chicago Leo in this Class 3A boys basketball 3rd place game here at Carver Arena. Kurt Pegler, Bill Hitt, Lee Hall, and our IHSA Television Network crew with you. You're getting a look at Beth Sauser. She's an IHSA Executive Director. Her father-in-law, Jerry, was a great player for Chicago Leo in the early 60s. He's at home watching, trying to root on his Lions. Great scorer, great shooter. And Beth was a pretty good basketball player herself from Elgin St. Edwards, played collegiately at DePaul, so some basketball bloodlines in that family, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. And most of us started our basketball tourney experiences watching it on TV. I know I certainly did, and it gets in your blood, and it's nice to know that he's still at home watching his Lions.
Jermaine Winfield with that basket for North Lawndale. They've increased their lead now to 20 at 39-19. And now another turnover. John Taylor in the front court. Slips a pass to Mills, who couldn't finish with the left hand, and he's standing out of bounds as they got the ball back.
I like him. He's got that little smile on his face. He just, what? How did I miss that?
Of all the points and rebounds he has in his career, you bet that his teammates are going to remind him of that play more than any of the others.
They will talk. They will talk.
Isaac Smith turnaround jumper. He got the ball right at the top of the key and turned around and knocked down the jumper.
You know, I watched Leo, and I'm just a little surprised. What North Central, or North Lawndale rather, gets you to do is just make passes you're not comfortable with. And you know, Leo's floating some of their passes. It's resulted in about a dozen turnovers and 18 points off of those.
Got some wholesale substitutions in as you take a look at this last sequence here.
Nice heads up, Z Jones being able to flip that ball off of his opponent right underneath the basket.
Miles Mayfield, Paul Bunch, Bryant Edwards in the game for the first time. Didn't play yesterday. 5'11", 187 senior guard. He's in for North Lawndale. This is Stephen Thorpe. He's the son of the head coach, Lewis Thorpe. 39-21 North Lawndale leading Leo here in this Class 3A boys basketball third place game. And now a steal. Back in transition. Darren Johnson for the Lions. All the way down, up and in. It's going to be a blocking foul. It'll be whistled against Mayfield.
You know, every once in a while you can think you did everything right and just not, maybe a lean, maybe established position. You know, block charges are very, very hard for officials to make. You know, what I like to see is him square up to the dribbler and take the charge, which he did. You know, I'm not sure, he might have leaned on that a little bit into the score.
Johnson had a big game against Oswego yesterday. 19 points and 6 rebounds. Got a 5-point effort here, and now another steal. Again, that's Isaac Smith all the way down, works from the right, can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, James Pointer, he sticks it back in. Pointer now with 7 points. Here's Dante Dangerfield all the way down. From the right side, he attacks, and with the left hand flipped it up and in. He stayed right with it.
Did a great job. It got the ball blocked from behind and was able to get it up on the glass and then rebounded and put it in.
Boy, North Lawndale is going to have nearly as many points in the opening half here today as they had all yesterday in their semifinal loss to Centennial.
You know, they're obviously playing a lot looser, getting the ball up and down the court, and they're able to run out of their zone. They're playing a little bit more zone than we've seen.
Darren Johnson with a 3. Maybe he's starting to heat up a little bit. He's a superb athlete. Boy, they're just athletes all over the floor here today. Up and down, up and down. Ball's out of bounds to North Lawndale. The Phoenix 29-5. State champion again in 08, and the runner-up in 07. Noah Cannon's team won a state championship in 04. And he's a Leo grad. He says he loves coaching his alma mater. That's Dangerfield scoring in the paint.
I love to watch that kid too. He has lefties, I think, just add a little bit. He's got such great quickness off his jump. He gets up quickly and can sky.
With the left hand, kniving through the lane is Isaac Smith. He's his teammates consider him the defensive stopper, but he's showing some offensive prowess here. Ball is on the floor and another steal. Leo trying to turn it up a little bit. Here's Darwin Rogers. Lost the dribble. Another 3. Missed that time from Johnson. Now back to get it is Mayfield. 2 minutes to go in this first half of this third place game. Class 3A boys hoops here at Carver Arena in Peoria. Thorpe, baseline jumper, rims no good. Foul's going to be on Paul Bunch. He was over the back that time of Johnson.
You know, very slowly, Leo is kind of creeping back in here. Down 13. You can see him just a little bit more comfortable with being out on this court and competing against North Lawndale.
We've got 4 subs coming in right now for North Lawndale. It's almost like a hockey line change. They just send bunches in at you, don't they?
You know, again, I've seen them play several times this year. This is not unique. They do it a lot. And it, you know, it's not necessarily when they make the substitutions that the team before had played bad. Sometimes that's the case. It's, you know, they play so hard that, you know, sometimes after 4 or 5 minutes, you just need a minute or 2 out of the game. And they're deep. They know their roles. They handle the ball well as a team, and they're able to do that.
And they're shooting 65% here in the first half, and that'll win you a lot of basketball games when you can shoot the basketball that well. 17 out of 26.
And 26 paint points, you know, and some of those are obviously transition points off layups, but That's why you're shooting 67%.
James Pointer's free throws now give him 9 points, 43-32. Leo has cut that lead down. It was once 20 points, now down to 11. And now another steal. Boy, Isaac Smith has really played well on the defensive end. Pointer's going to try a 3 from the wing. Back of the iron, no good. Johnson up to get the rebound. He's hacked from behind by Dante Dangerfield, so the foul's going to go against Dangerfield.
One of the things when you are shooting from three-point land and you're trying to rebound that shot, those balls oftentimes will take a longer bounce, and sometimes you can do everything right as a defender. You can get your body on the person, you can screen out and not rebound because the ball, again, takes those longer bounces. That's exactly what happened. I was watching the North Lawndale players. They all had inside position, bodied up, did a nice job, just bounced over their heads.
And I know coaches will say all the time that good rebounders have that instinct. They know when those long shots, those three-point shots, they know longer rebounds, shorter rebounds, weak side rebounds, strong side rebounds. Guys that do it very well, like Mills, they kind of have an instinct. They know where that ball's going to be.
And you watch, they always will adjust while the shot is being taken. They don't wait. They don't wait.
Winfield, boy, he's a good rebounder too.
He's a load.
He lays it in. Good first half for Jermaine Winfield. He's in double digits now with 11 points. He's a young man that averages 12 a game, so he's just about already at his average here in this opening half. We're under a minute to go here, second quarter. We got a foul on the play, and back to the free throw line is going to go Leo. It'll be Darwin Rogers.
Strong move to the basket. Winfield that time out of position and maybe bailed him out a little bit. I don't know if he would had an angle to get that ball to go into the basket.
Rogers is, we talked about rebounding 12 times this season. He led his team in rebounding, a double-digit rebounding guy at 10.5 a game, and we've already pointed out he's only 6'4". You don't have to be a 7-footer to be a good rebounder.
No, he plays very big, and you watch him. He's got a great center of gravity. His legs are strong. He's able to establish position and hold it.
Giovanni Austin is checked in the game now for North Lawndale. He's 6'6", 230. He's a transfer from Clark, didn't play yesterday. In fact, had to sit out the opening semester and has only played really in the second semester, 18 games. We've got 45.1 seconds left here. There's a piece of debris or something on the floor, so they stopped play to clean that up.
Both of these programs, Leo and North Lawndale, they obviously are living in the moment. This is a great experience, although they wished it was a game later.
Right.
But those are programs that take a lot of pride in having programs. We used to say at Proviso East that we don't rebuild, we reload, and I think that's true for both of these programs.
Nicely done. Terry Johnson kniving through the lane, and the Illinois State recruit lays that in. Johnson with 7 points now. We've got a foul in the backcourt. Going to be on Johnson.
He did a nice job, made the basket, and then thought he had an opportunity to sneak up and steal the ball. And then got a little greedy. After he didn't get it, he reached in and committed the foul.
You got to look there of Noah Johnson as he was having a conversation. I'm sorry, Noah Cannon with Paul Bean. And you brought this up yesterday in our broadcast, Bill. Building a program is what he wanted to do at Leo. It's his alma mater. He's from that side of Chicago. Just eats, sleeps, and drinks Leo basketball. He said that the 04 state champions have been around the neighborhood. They've played against these kids. These kids were in 7th and 8th grade when that team won in 04, and they've kind of groomed this 09 team to get to Peoria, and that's what he wanted. He kind of wanted a program that replenished itself with the alumni coming back and being very active with the current student body.
Again, I think that's what makes strong programs, that continuity. I know if you were to ask Proviso East guys who were the stars before, they could name them. They come back and give back to the community and the players. And I think that's what Coach Cannon was looking for from Leo.
James Pointer's going to get some free throws. He penetrates here with just under a second to go with 0.7 left on the clock here in this first half. And so Pointer back to the free throw line. He's already been to the free throw line 10 times in this basketball game.
He started out slowly. I think he missed 2 or 3 of his first 4 free throws, but he's been pretty good since then. and they've had more than a few opportunities to get to the line. So they start shooting a little bit better percentage from the free throw line. They can maybe shoot themselves closer than they are now, the 12 points behind.
Makes good on the foul shots too. And shot is off. It's on target, but it's just wide. 49-38. Halftime score. North Lawndale leads Chicago Leo in this battle of Chicago schools. Third place game in the Class 3A boys basketball bracket. And Lee Hall is standing by with North Lawndale's head coach Lewis Thorpe.
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot. Obviously, you'd like to be playing in that next game, Coach, but I thought your kids came out and played with a lot of emotion, and 49 points in the first half. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is, but we gave up 38, and that's not impressive. We got guys on the bench that didn't come to play. So we're going to have a long conversation in the locker room and change that short our bench rotation second half.
All right, good luck to you, Coach. Good to see you. All right, we will be back at Carver Arena after this network timeout. And we are back at halftime, our NAR halftime show. The National Association of Realtors would like to remind you that buying a home is an investment in your future. Whether you're buying or selling a home, contact a realtor, a member of the NAR. North Lawndale, 49-38 lead here at the half over Chicago Leo. It's the grape and berry man here. You're the berry, I'm the grape, I guess. Is that right? What color is that?
It's berry.
It's berry. That was a pretty good guess. Berry and grape. Lee Hall, Anthony Longstreet, former coach at Chicago Crane. You know, these two teams obviously would be like to be playing in the next game. A lot of offense out there in the first half on both sides.
Yeah, actually, North Lawndale got off to a great start, which was triggered by their defense. I think they forced 5 turnovers in the first 3 or 4 minutes, and actually they ended up with 7 turnovers in that first quarter, which helped get them off to a good start.
They made 12 of their first 15 shots, whether it was in transition or in the half court. One way or another, they were able to get the ball to the hoop and score.
Yeah, and I think another thing that happened for them, John Taylor got off to a good start. Leo's going to have to do a better job in recognizing him when he's got that ball, because he's got some uncontested threes that he knocked down.
Leo was able to kind of get in the flow of thing and make it an 11-point game here at the half. They kind of closed the gap a little bit anyway.
Yeah, it seemed like they kind of settled down, and you know, they were getting looks early, but they were rushed and forced looks and stuff. So it seems like they're taking their time a little bit more, and they're knocking down shots in that last 3 minutes of the second half.
All right, it's a 49-38 lead in this third-place battle for Chicago, number 2 and number 6 in the state. Lawndale ranked second, Leo 6th, battling for third place here back after this local timeout. Back at our NAR halftime show, 49-38, the Phoenix leading the Lions here at the half, 49-38. Lee Hall, Anthony Longstreet back at Tournament Central. We'll take a look at those first half numbers. Pretty impressive shooting numbers on our Menards halftime stats. Coach, look at the field goals for Lawndale, 20 of 31. That's over 60%.
Yeah, that's a great percentage. If they can keep that up in the second half, they should be pretty good going into the end of the game.
Leo able to get to the free throw line, but not convert on too many of them. Points on the paint, they're a huge number, Coach, in favor of the Phoenix, 32-12. We talked about that. And second chance points, 14-4. So the boards, the inside game in the North Lawndale favor right now.
Yes, it is. I think Leo's going to have to give Darren Rogers some more help down low. He's the only big guy that they got, so some of those guards are going to have to go in there and help out.
James Pointer leading the way for Leo with 13 points. John Taylor, 15 points. And Jermaine Winfield getting some open looks with 11. Here are our halftime stats brought to us by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Let's talk a little bit about Lewis Thorpe. Because of the technical foul on the uniform issue, he's forced to stay on the bench. How tough is that as a head coach to have that taken away from you by that technical foul and not be able to get up and kind of be in the game?
Well, I think it's more so on the kids than the coach. The coach has to do a good job in trying to tell the kids, hey, look, we're going to rise above that. So that's the biggest thing that a head coach would have to do.
11-point game here at the half. We'll have the second half coming your way after this local timeout.
A 49-point first half for North Lawndale, and the Phoenix leads Chicago Leo 49-38 in this Class 3A boys basketball third-place game. Kurt Pegler, former Proviso East head coach Bill Hitt with you. Let's take a look at some of the highlights which shaped the opening half here. North Lawndale with the lead.
Jermaine Winfield after a great pass on a fast break with a dunk, and now we see squaring up and letting it go, Darren Johnson for Leo. Strong move and then a strip by Dangerfield. Kick it up. Easy basket for John Taylor. Nice one-handed bounce pass, lead pass, and Taylor again. He had 3 threes in that first half and pulls up and nails that one. Great pass down low from Paul Bean. Big strong move. And a basket for Darwin Rogers, who's been tough the whole game. Nice interception. Paul Beam finishes with that jump shot on the wing. A lot of up and down tempo throughout this whole game.
Lee Hall is standing by with Noah Cannon, the head coach of the Leo Lions. Let's hear from them.
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot. A slow start for you, Coach, but you guys bounced back from that, and you're kind of back in the ball game here at the half. What'd you tell your team?
Oh, we told them to play Leo defense. The key thing is we missed a lot of free throws early, and we play good, solid defense. Second half, we're going to play Leo ball. We're going to come out there and give them a challenge. Like I said, North Lawndale is real big up front, but more importantly, we got a guard play, we got the heart to beat them.
Good luck to you, Coach. Appreciate it. All right, back after this on the IHSA TV network.
Good. North Lawndale 49, Chicago Leo 38. Third place game in the Class 3A boys basketball tournament. Kurt Pegler along with Bill Hitt and Lee Hall and our IHSA television network crew. We're glad that you are alongside here for boys basketball, the final day of the season in Peoria at Carver Arena. And don't forget, The 3A championship game will follow this one immediately. Oswego and Champaign Centennial, but still 16 minutes to go in this game between two Chicago schools, separated by about 10 miles. A lot of pride still at stake for this third place trophy.
Absolutely. And if you thought that 87 points was a lot of points, you're right. In the history of IHSA tournament basketball, that's the third most points scored by two teams in a half. And 49 is the third most that one team has scored in a half. So if it seemed up-tempo, it's because it was.
We thought we might see some points being scored. We thought even yesterday we see a lot of points. We didn't quite see as many points as we thought we might yesterday. Maybe they were just saving it for the tank here on Saturday.
Yeah, you know, and I think both coaches are pleased with the offensive production. I don't know that either coach is happy with some of the sloppiness with the ball. There's 27 total turnovers, which you expect some because they play at such a quick level. But you know, that's stretching a little bit. I think we're going to see a little bit, both teams being a little bit better and more careful with the ball.
North Lawndale starts this second half with a basketball and a 49-38 lead in the white jerseys with red and black trim. And quickly, it's Mills inside off a terrific feed from John Taylor. Now, Taylor had 15 first half points, but there he comes away with a terrific assist.
Just a nice little up fake to get a step on the defender and then a no-look pass underneath.
And in case you just joined us, North Lawndale was assessed again a technical foul at the beginning of the game for an illegal uniform, a National Federation, High School Federation rule. Their stripes are not uniform, and it cost them yesterday as they had to sit through a technical to begin that game, and they lost that semifinal game by a point, and again they were assessed a technical to open this game.
Offensive foul there. Darwin Rogers for Leo just didn't get himself turned around properly. Nice call by the official. I think that's his third foul. That's a problem for Leo. He's really their only strong rebounder. They give up so many inches underneath the basket. They need to keep him on the court.
Here's Mills now. He's guarded by Rogers, and indeed with his third foul. Winfield looks down low, stays out top. Z Jones penetrates down the lane, scooped it up with the left hand, rolls it out. Mills offensive rebound, and he's fouled as he goes back, and if that's on Rogers, that's his fourth.
Yeah, again, Mills just does a nice job of getting a little angle inside. You can see his body is inside right now. And Rogers kind of leans on him on the shot with his elbow, pushes him out of the play. But that started because Mills did a great job of getting inside position on the rebound.
Nothing seems to stop Jonathan Mills from rebounding. He even had a broken finger earlier this year and a loss to Young. Stayed in the game, double-digit rebounds. This is a guy that just has a knack for that basketball off the rim.
Absolutely.
In the game now is John Gatewood. That was him with the defensive rebound. He replaces Rogers, who has to go to the Leo bench with his fourth foul. See how long Noah Cannon can keep him on the bench. Here's Johnson, his three. Missed. Winfield the rebound. He's had a terrific game. Winfield now with his sixth rebound to go with 11 points. Here's Z Jones, penetrate and kick. Nice spin move. Terry Johnson floater won't go. Winfield there. He can't get that one to go. Again, an offensive rebound from Mills. That one won't go. They had 3 cracks at it. Could not get it to go. Now back in transition. This is Johnson. Scooped it up. Missed the shot. Offensive rebound. That wouldn't go. That was Gatewood. He couldn't finish it. Up and down action here in this third place game. Jones, open three from the wing. That's in.
He had a couple off the bench yesterday exactly that same way that almost pulled them through that game. Not necessarily his strength, but he, as you can see, can make that shot.
22nd three-point make on the season for Z Jones. It's Zilijan, Z-I-L-I-J-A-N, but he likes to be called Z. There's Malcolm McFarland, a tough fadeaway. It's interesting, Noah Cannon calls him the team MVP. Talking about McFarland, he's got a terrific player in James Pointer, but he said that really the guy that does everything for our team, the team MVP, is Malcolm McFarland. Let's take a look at our National Association of Realtors trivia question. Today's third place game marks the first time 2 Chicago teams have played in this game. Name the first Chicago school to play in the third place game. It's our National Association of Realtors trivia question. We'll have that answer for you in just a minute. Terry Johnson to the free throw line for North Lawndale. He'll play his college basketball next year just down I-74 at Illinois State University. He's got an older sister, Brittany, who played at State twice with Fenwick. So that's pretty good sibling rivalry there, huh? State championships or state appearances within your family?
I wonder if Brittany can hold her own in the one-on-one games.
That driveway, that must have been a real competitive one-on-one or horse or whatever they played. Free throw contest.
See, on made free throws, they like to do this little odd front zone press. And what they want is to trap it in the first corner.
Came away with it. It's Mills. There's that pressure getting some points. Mills now in double figures. He has 10. Johnson from the outside. Boy, you give him an open look. Darren Johnson just going to reload and fire it in.
He just squares up, and good shooters don't have a conscience, and he unloaded that.
Z. Jones, he just made a 3 a minute ago. He slipped the pass. Wow, what a terrific pass to John Taylor that was. Taylor had a real productive opening half. He now has 17 points, and he's the leading scorer in this basketball game. Skip pass over the top. This is Paul Bean. He's a sophomore, but he can shoot it. Missed the shot. Mills comes away with it. Jonathan Mills running the floor. Taylor again. Baseline jumper, can't get it. Mills there on the offensive rebound. It won't go. Winfield crashing the glass.
So you got Mills rebounding, finding the man down, and then rebounding on the offensive end.
So many weapons on this North Lawndale squad.
You know, there's more than a few players who at other schools would be on the court for 32 minutes or close to it. It's a great tribute, I think, that they share the ball so well, that they're comfortable with their roles, and that they accept that they're not going to play the whole game.
That's an offensive foul on James Pointer, and North Lawndale will have the ball when we come back. A 20-point lead for the Phoenix. Back with more from Peoria after this local timeout.
And we are back at Carver Arena. It's Attitude and Santa Claus. It's a heck of a day here. That's why it's America's original March Madness. The guy that looks like Santa Claus is Mike Anderson from Lincoln. But, Mike, you told me that you don't do Santa Claus. Is that right?
Yes, sir, I do not.
How come?
I just never have.
All right, it looked like Santa Claus was guarding Michael Jordan last night. You were the guy sitting in front of Michael Jordan. You got a lot of FaceTime last night. Did you get to talk to him at all or anything?
Very little bit. He asked me to move up my seat because he had a problem with his knee. And so I moved the chair up for him. He had a little more room.
Yeah, but he was a nice guy?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Just there watching the boy play ball is all.
Yeah. All right, well, good to see you.
All right, thank you.
You're getting a lot of attention this weekend. You might want to...
I didn't ask for it.
He looks like Santa Claus, but would prefer to be incognito, guys. It's hard to do when you got that grill.
Yeah, if you don't want to be seen, don't sit near Michael Jordan, okay? Here's Winfield on the reverse layup. Nicely done. He got a nice feed from Terry Johnson. Largest lead of the game now for North Lawndale, 65-43. There's a hanging, firing shot there. Isaac Smith, he's played well. We have mentioned a couple times over the course of the last 2 days what an emotional season it has been for these players here at North Lawndale. In fact, Lewis Thorpe, the head coach, said that it's just been an emotional roller coaster, how much that they've been through. We mentioned Winfield, that young man right there, missed the shot, and a foul in the backcourt. He was involved in a situation. Let's complete that thought in a minute. Today's third place game marks the first time 2 Chicago teams played in this game. Named the first Chicago team to play in the third place game. Our NAR trivia question: Chicago Harrison, 1931. They defeated Johnston City in overtime. Big offensive output that day, 28-26.
You know, Harrison is no longer one of the Chicago public schools. It closed in 1983 after opening in 1912. But they've got a couple of famous alumni. Benny Goodman, I think he could play a little bit of tunes. And Irv Kupsinet, a longtime Chicago newspaper guy and columnist, yeah.
Worked with the Sun-Times. He's perhaps the most famous columnist in, well, we won't go over there, but certainly, yeah, a name.
He's one of those guys that when you think of Chicago, you think of Cup.
Complete our thought on North Lawndale, the kind of trying year that they have had as this season is winding down to the final weekend. Just before the season, they lost 3 classmates to a tragedy. Then the starting forward, Jermaine Winfield, shot in the thigh after a game at Collins. A couple of weeks ago, the starting center, Jonathan Mills, he was accused of cheating on a test. He was ruled ineligible. He sued the school. He was granted a temporary restraining order that allowed him to play in the state tournament. All this has happened in the last couple of months at one school with one team. I mean, it sounds like some sort of a made-for-TV drama, but this is real life going on in Chicago at North Lawndale, and this team has tried to put all that beside and get to the state championship game. Fell just short, playing for third place here today, and in good shape to bring home that third place trophy with a 20-point lead.
You know, something I read in the Peoria paper this morning from Lewis Thorpe, and what he said was that loss yesterday was the worst loss that he suffered. But what he said also was what a life experience it is for his kids. And I'm watching them, and I've watched them through the tournament and, you know, several games in the sectionals that I got to see them play. And you can tell they're very well coached. You can tell they play with a purpose. And you can tell that they have in mind what they want to accomplish. And I think that's a tribute to the coaching staff. I'm looking at, you know, all of the assistant coaches, the positive interactions they have with the kids at timeouts. You don't get to be that good accidentally.
Malcolm McFarland had scored for Leo, and then Terry Johnson for the Phoenix, and now Isaac Smith for Leo. Back and forth. Get the calculators out, folks. North Lawndale has already scored as many points right now in this game as they did in the semifinal. How about that tough shot by Stephen Thorpe? But they scored 65 yesterday and lost in the game to Centennial in the semifinal, already with 69 with 90 seconds to play here in the third quarter. So the offenses have certainly showed up in this third place game here. They're putting on quite an offensive display. That foul's going to go against Terry Johnson of North Lawndale. And we're getting you set for the state championship game in Class 3A. Oswego, the Cinderella story against the #1 ranked team in the state, Champaign Centennial. And there weren't a whole lot of people at the beginning of this week that would have thought those two schools would have made their way to the state championship game, but that's what high school sports is really all about.
You know, that's why you play the games, and I'm going to go on record. I was wrong. You know, they
I want to see the guy that was right. I don't know that there's anybody that would have predicted those two teams meeting in the state championship game after the sectionals last week.
Well, unless I saw it in writing, I'm not going to believe it.
Right. Mills' pass is deflected by Isaac Smith and out of bounds. Mills with another rebound.
What a great effort that was to catch up to that pass. See the pass by Mills down court, one hand, and just could not put the brakes on.
Paul Bean's going to come back in for Leo and give Malcolm McFarland a breather. He'll go back to the Lions bench. It's 69-51, 18-point lead for North Lawndale. Minute 10 to go here, third place game, Class 3A. There's a steal, quick hands. Smith's going to come away with it to finish.
Just a nice anticipation, got his hand on the ball and passed it to himself.
Terry Johnson breaks the pressure, and we've got a reach-in foul that's going to go against Paul Bean. Under a minute to go here, third quarter. Here's another look at that steal and dunk by Isaac Smith of the Lions.
See, just kind of flips it up, takes it to himself. He's got a little bit of spring in his feet.
Oh, you got that right.
You know, from a coaching purist point of view, you don't like to see the defender allow the dribbler to get ahead of him.
Mills, tough shot.
But what both of these teams do so well, when that occurs, they're very, very good at just flicking that ball from behind to create turnovers. And we've seen that in this game a number of times. And we saw a number of those plays yesterday in the semifinals.
Offensive rebound, Darren Johnson. He cleans up the James Pointer miss. Under a half a minute to go here in this third quarter. Behind the back dribble, nicely done by Stephen Thorpe all the way down. Ball is loose. Mills had it in and out of his hands. Thorpe gets it back. He just was from the seat of his pants. Then he got up and he shot it in. He's quick. He can score in the lane. Well, Pointer had the ball stripped out of bounds with 4.3 seconds to go in this third quarter. Lewis Thorpe, he's got two sons on the team. Brandon is a sophomore, Stephen is a junior. And his team is in good shape here in the final seconds of this third quarter, on its way to a third-place trophy in this Class 3A boys basketball season. Final seconds of this third quarter. Mills' shot, three-quarter length, is off the mark. And we've got 8 minutes of basketball left here at Carver Arena, with North Lawndale leading Chicago Leo 73-55. Back with more after this message from our network sponsors.
IHSA telecast is brought to you by Country Financial. For a no-obligation insurance and financial review, call the Country Financial representative near you. At Country, we always ask, what's your idea of financial security?
Take a look at our third quarter stats brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. North Lawndale with a 73-55 advantage, Coach.
You know, and the rebounds really is key here, and we knew it would be 31-16, and North Lawndale has 48 points in the paint, and that's, you know, again, that's the strength of their team in addition to their quickness. Both teams have shot the ball well.
Yeah.
You know, North Lawndale's at 60%, and Leo is just under 50%, 48.8. So a lot of offense in this game.
Well, North Lawndale, too, with 50 attempts, 9 more offensive possessions, and it's an 18-point game. So you take a look at the, you know, they're just able to multiply those possessions up and down the floor, and that's the difference right now in this one with 8 minutes to go.
Yep, and very quietly, Jonathan Mills, I know I've talked about him a lot, but he's such a good rebounder. He's got a double-double again, 12 rebounds and 10 rebounds and 12 points, and Jonathan Taylor's been really shooting the ball well with 17 points.
If it's possible to have a quiet double-double, Mills has done that.
Right.
It hasn't been very flashy, but he just gets the job done. Night in, night out. Darwin Rogers of Leo with 4 fouls. He's now checked in at the scorer's table, so on the next whistle he'll come in. He picked up his 3rd and 4th fouls in the first minute and 10 seconds of this second half and has been on the bench ever since. There's another rebound for Mills. Quickly down the floor, Mayfield couldn't finish. That one's cleared by Gatewood, and now we've got a foul as they were trying to move the ball back down the floor. That foul's going to go against Paul Bunch of North Lawndale. Now here comes, back into the game comes Darwin Rogers. Again, he's got 4 fouls.
You know, he's talking to himself, you know, right? Be smart, be smart.
Stay in the game, that kind of thing. Well, it's certainly difficult to play.
I was going to say easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely. Oswego and Champaign Centennial will play for the Class 3A Boys Basketball Championship after this one. There's Rogers down low. He's fouled by Bunch.
Great find by Pointer on that little cut. Looked like Bunch thought that the cutter was going to be picked up by the weak side wingman. Little miscommunication.
Rogers with 7 points and 11 rebounds in the loss to Oswego yesterday. And again, his number's likely not going to be as glossy this time around because he's played with foul trouble here today against North Lawndale. Bunch goes to the bench along with Terry Johnson for North Lawndale. Makes good on the free throws. Miles Mayfield bringing the ball up the floor now. This is Stephen Thorpe, penetrates all the way down, scooped it up, couldn't get it. Mills offensive rebound, had it stripped, but there's a foul.
got a nice little drive here, you can see. Looks away, just a little too much English on it, and then a mistake from Jonathan Mills. Brought the ball down, you know, and rebounders, what you teach rebounders is to chin the ball. You want to put that ball right by your face, right by your chin. Never bring it down where it can get stripped.
And I thought there was a foul there. I stand corrected, the ball just out of bounds there to North Lawndale. 6:52 here left in this one. Here's North Lawndale trying to attack here. That's Thorpe. Penetrates again. He's done it all game. Slipped a nice pass, couldn't get it. That was Giovanni Austin. He followed it back in.
Did a nice job staying with that. Coach Thorpe was a little disappointed with his subs in the first half, as he told us, and I think his son in particular. So looked over to the bench a couple times. You know, Dad's that a little bit better now and penetrating a little bit more.
McFarland in the paint. He won't finish. Mills back to get it. Now penetrating, and again Giovanni Austin gets it in the right place at the right time. Give credit to John Taylor for the nice pass.
Put the ball right in his hands and at the right speed, Kurt. Sometimes you throw too hard, it's not catchable.
So Austin with 4 consecutive points off that North Lawndale bench. Under 6 minutes to go here. Rainbow 3, Isaac Smith. He's played well for the Lions. Smith in 17 points now. That's his first 3-point make of the game. And there's another pass to Giovanni Austin. He's just making a living getting those penetration and getting those passes. Thorpe the pass and Austin the finish.
It sounds silly, but it's not. Catching the ball is important. And you see him get 3 baskets because he could catch the ball on passes.
And now he's going to be rewarded with a couple of foul shots. And we remind you that coverage of this IHSA basketball tournament is sponsored by Walgreens and Zero Cal Water. Zero Cal Water, exclusively available at Walgreens, a proud sponsor of this IHSA network broadcast. Good inside game for Giovanni Austin, his transfer from Clark. He's played in just, this is just his 19th game of the season. Had to sit out the first semester after transferring from Clark. Second semester player only. You take a look at his body. He's got those long arms, 6'6", 230, and he's got a very athletic build.
Absolutely. Playing with Mills, even for half a year, it's got to rub off on him because, you know, again, that rebounding is all about heart and want.
He's having a whale of a fourth quarter. 7 points in the quarter. He could be in double digits just playing the last part of the game here. Mills with a near steal. Boy, he just about got that one and would have had an easy lane to the basket.
He just read that pass, and you know, coaches, you don't want to have an entry pass from that far away because the ball's in the air too much. So you tell your point guard, take another bounce or 2 over, shorten the distance and the time that the ball's going to be in the air.
And that pressure, a near steal, but it turns into a turnover against Leo. Noah Cannon's Lions 27-5 as they entered this 3rd place game. Again, previous trips to the Final Four included a 1998 4th place finish in the 2004 state championship team. So they're bringing another trophy back to the south side of Chicago as well. Nice spin move and drop down low to Mills, and he finishes. John Taylor, another terrific assist.
Yeah, they're just getting into the paint way too easy, and part of that is that Leo's looking to try to get steals so that they can score on transition. We're giving them too many lanes to the basket, and then we've seen great passing from the guards.
22-point advantage for North Lawndale, matches their biggest of the game. 3-pointer missed from Darren Johnson, and we're back come the Phoenix now. Here's Thorpe. He's going to attack and flip it up and in. He's played very well off the bench. Now Rogers lost the ball off the pressure. Rogers still on the floor. He now is stolen back. McFarland. Malcolm McFarland down. He can't finish. Gets his own rebound in traffic, and that's in. Shot that one right over Giovanni Austin.
He stayed with it.
Team's having a little trouble getting back on the defensive end. This is up and down. Mills offensive rebound and sticks it back in. Mills now with 14, check that, 16 points and 14 rebounds. Three-point shot rims out. That's Darren Johnson. Miles Mayfield brings it back in. That ball's going to be a turnover. Trying to connect that time with Giovanni Austin, but threw it away. 3:34 to go here, third place game. Back with more from Carver Arena in this Class 3A boys basketball tournament. After these messages and a word from our local stations. And here's a look at our Walgreens picture-perfect moment. Walgreens, a proud sponsor of the IHSA's Do What's Right Good Sportsmanship campaign. Santa Claus and Michael Jordan in the same frame. That is a picture-perfect moment. That was taken actually from last night from the 4A state semifinal. And there's Bruce Weber, the Fighting Illini head coach. He'd rather be in the NCAA tournament still coaching his team, but the Illini losing on Thursday to Western Kentucky, and now he's down here. He's able to watch some of his potential recruits. Of course, Jeremy Richmond, who will be playing for Waukegan in the Class 4A state championship game tonight, is already signed with the Fighting Illini. We're 3.5 minutes away from the finish of this one in this third place game, and then state championship game. Champaign Centennial, ranked #1 in the state, will take on Oswego. Panthers, the Cinderella story of this tournament. The layup goes in. Stephen Thorpe.
They do such a great job of running the court and kicking the ball ahead.
Three-pointers in from James Pointer. Pointer now with 16. That's his first three-point make of the game. Penetrate and foul. We're seeing for the first time that's Deontay Banks of North Lawndale. He's going to get to the free throw line.
Big, strong move there, and you know, if you're going to foul them, don't let the arms go up. Did a nice job of making sure that basket didn't go in.
Banks has checked into the game now. First time, 6'5", 215. He's a junior. Give a little taste of some of these guys that will be coming back next year. Get a taste of that state floor. Linger with them all summer long and make them work hard to get back, right?
You know, and you need to have those kinds of goals, and you also need the experience of being down here, so you get hungry as a player.
Hiram Moss is checking into the game. He's considered kind of the energy guy for North Lawndale. He is coming in. We're seeing Bryant Edwards again, so Lewis Thorpe kind of going deep into his reserves and getting some of those players on the floor, and now Noah Ken is going to do the same thing for the Lions. He's bringing his starters off the floor. We're seeing Christopher Lockhart check in the game for the first time for Leo. Also seeing Darius Brown, who's a sophomore. Again, these underclassmen getting an opportunity to play on the Carver Arena floor. It's another great advantage of third place game. There's not a lot of, you know, some states don't have this opportunity to reward a team in a third place game, and here you got a chance to give your seniors one more chance to play and then get some of those underclassmen in the game.
You know, I've never coached a team that played in a third place game at the state tournament, but I've watched a lot, and I think it's a positive. I think it's positive for the kids, positive for the coaching staff. You get to play some of your younger kids, as you said. I certainly think there's way more good that comes out of it than, you know, I understand that there's emotional letdowns after you, especially when you lose two games as you know, heartbreakingly as they were lost yesterday. But I still believe it's got its place, and I'm glad we do it in the state of Illinois.
And certainly you're right on the heels of those two unbelievable finishes in the state semifinals. Having a third place game could be difficult emotionally, but these teams have really put on a show here. Scoring nearly 150 points here between the two teams. They have lit it up offensively. Here's Paul Bean on the dribble drive. Kick out. Maurice Joyner with the miss. Gets it back. This is Brown. Here's Bean again, and he's one of the sophomore players. Paul Bean's going to try a three, and that's in. No wonder they like him. You know, it's funny. Noah Cannon said this guy's just kind of waiting his turn. He's waiting to replace James Pointer. So when you're waiting in the wings to replace a player like James Pointer, that's pretty high praise.
You know, and good programs, that's what happens.
We'll step aside with 1:56 to go here. North Lawndale on its way to a third place trophy. Back with more from Peoria after these local messages. Here's our programming for tonight. We've got the Class 4A consolation game between Thornton and Dundee Crown coming your way at 6:30. The 4A title game will pit Chicago Whitney Young against Waukegan, 8:15. And don't forget, immediately following this game, we've got a championship game. Class 3A title on the line, Oswego against Champaign Centennial over most of these stations on the IHSA television network.
That ought to be a really, really great game. You know, Oswego, who's surprised most of the state, and Champaign, who didn't necessarily surprise the state, but made a point in their semifinal game.
Paul Bean had a shot rejected, but there to clean up the miss is Darius Brown. Well, getting up high on the defensive end was Bryant Edwards there with that rejection. And now it's going to be an offensive foul against Edwards.
Did a nice job. Paul Bean did a nice job of getting his feet planted in front of the dribbler to draw the contact, and that shows me a little bit about how the quickness and the instincts he has defensively.
Got a reach-in foul that's going to go against North Lawndale's Hiram Moss. And again, this is the final stages of this Class 3A third place game. North Lawndale with an 18-point lead. The 2A state champs from a year ago beat Peoria Manual here on this floor to win the 2A title. This year moved up to 3A and bringing home a third place trophy this year. This follows up a 1A runner-up performance 2 years ago. Fourth consecutive trip for North Lawndale, and now 3 years in a row in which they're going to be bringing back a trophy for the trophy case in North Lawndale.
You know, at halftime, we thought maybe we would see a state record in terms of most points, but Providence St. Mel had 117 points in the 85 Super Sectional. We're not going to get there. And Quincy, with one of those great teams of theirs in 1972, had 107 points in semifinal.
Free throw is now going to come for Deontay Banks again, and we're likely not even going to see North Lawndale. We mentioned that their high for the season was 98 points, and they're more than likely not going to get to 98 in this one, but still 88 to 70, still plenty of points being scored. This is the home of Bradley University. College teams, they play 40 minutes, and you don't see scores like that in a 40-minute college game, let alone a 32-minute high school game. Banks getting an opportunity to get in that scorebook. Splits his free throws. Ball is tipped around. And Leo's Maurice Joyner comes away with it. Now back up the floor. So Levante Johnson's in the game now for the first time for the Lions, and he's going to get rewarded with a couple of free throws.
Watching that ball get kicked up. Nice little fake. Goes strong to the basket. Just a little bit out of control there. Tried to split the defenders.
Johnson did get in the game yesterday in the semifinal, so he's going to get in the final as well. In fact, he led the team in scoring in the first game in the postseason, the regional opener, a 12-point effort. And so Levante Johnson, who's a junior, he'll be back next year. He's getting, again, a little taste of the floor here at Carver Arena in the state finals, in the state third-place game. Under a minute to go here now in this one.
You know, Providence St. Mel, back in that '85 tournament, was a scoring machine. Not only did they have 117 points that they scored in the Super, they scored 95 points in the state championship game. So you're talking about a team that knew how to get the ball up the court and put it in the basket.
And we've seen a lot of that here today. We've seen a lot of offensive prowess, and we're going to probably see some more. Banks on the other end is, oh, shot is blocked. How about the defense there? Getting back on the defensive end was Christopher Lockhart for Leo. A little teardrop footer for the baseline, won't go again. Boy, these fellas are playing hard. They're trying to take advantage of the minute here at the end of the game. Now we've got another foul. That one is going to go against North Lawndale. It's going to be Brian Edwards. He's been in the middle of a couple of those kind of collisions here in the final minute.
And down we go. Darius Brown goes strong to the basket. Brian Edwards got the ball but got the body.
And so Darius Brown, 5'9", 165, just a sophomore. Opportunity to get in that scorebook. Champaign Centennial and Oswego to follow in the Class 3A Boys Basketball Championship game. Final seconds of this one. So North Lawndale is going to have a first place, a second place, and a third place trophy in their trophy case over the course of the last 3 years, and that's awfully darn good, is it not?
You know, it speaks to the quality of the program and the quality of the players. You know, to do it once is a great thrill, obviously, but to continually do it is, you know, a mark of the program.
That was an interesting play here by Brandon Thorpe. He just kind of was hoping to throw it off the back of the defender, flipped it off the back of Darius Brown, but Brown turned around, got the ball off the turnover, and now he's going to go back to the free throw line.
Well, I'm dating myself, but I do that. Michael Finley inbounded the ball one time when he was at Proviso East, currently with the San Antonio Spurs, but he threw it off underneath our basket, picked the ball up and dunked it. That was in a super sectional game, so it was...
the coach called that play, right?
Coach did not. Coach would have liked to have taken credit for it.
Oh, it sure makes it a little bit easier when you got Donnie Boyce and Sherelle Ford and Michael Finley to coach. Huh?
It was a good group to have, yes.
We're in our final seconds of this Class 3A boys basketball third place game, and that went from Levante Johnson. Could be our final points. And that is going to be the final basket of the game. North Lawndale is your third place winner. A 91-77 decision over Chicago Leo. So the Public League beats the Catholic League in this third place game, and North Lawndale is going to clean out a little bit more room in that trophy case. As we said, a first place, a second place, and now a third place in the last 3 years. And Chicago Leo, more trophy space as well after winning that state championship back in 2004. Now has another trophy to put in there, a fourth place trophy, and a great season here in the 2009 season for Noah Cannon's Lions. They'll finish at 27-6. North Lawndale will finish 30-5, and your third place winner in the 2008-2009 season here, Class 3A boys basketball.
You know, it wasn't the trophy they hoped to come home with, but I think the performance this morning here kind of reaffirmed the quality of their team. You know, anytime you go in 30 games in a season against the people that they played, it's a tribute to that squad.
All right, we're going to hear from the winning team here in just a second as Lee Hall is trying to corral. There's a lot of handshakes, and again, these two schools separated by just about 10 miles, so there's a lot of familiarity between the two sides, and of course these guys play against each other in the summertime and such like that, so they're giving their best. Congratulations. Now let's go to Lee Hall.
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot. Our Country Financial Player of the Game, Jonathan Mills, 16 points, 14 boards. How tough to come out after the disappointing loss yesterday and play again today?
It was very tough. You know, we had to overcome that loss and then come in with more energy than we had yesterday. So we had to, you know, build each other up, and then we had to motivate each other last night. So that's what we did to win this game.
Can you talk about this season? You guys have been through quite a bit to get to this point, make it 4 straight trips to state. You got to be pretty proud of that.
Yeah, I'm very proud. You know, we had a lot of obstacles this year, so we had to overcome that. So during the games, we motivate each other, you know, uplift each other, and that's what we had to do to win all the games we won.
Congratulations, Jonathan. All right, Jonathan Mills, our Country Financial Player of the Game. Lewis Thorpe is here, and Coach, as Jonathan said, disappointment, but it's always nice to win your last game of the year.
Absolutely, I concur. But it's tough on us, man. You know, we came down here to win the state championship, but at least we didn't go home 0-2.
4 straight years at the state tournament. You've done quite a job, built quite a program. You got to be proud of these young men.
I am. I'm proud of these guys. It's been a great run, and I hope we can do it again.
Always a pleasure, sir. God bless. Lewis Thorpe, head coach at North Lawndale, back after this local timeout. And welcome back to Carver Arena in downtown Peoria, America's original March Madness. Congratulations to Chicago Leo on their 4th place finish at state, and North Lawndale on their 3rd place finish in Class 3A. Coming up now, the slam dunk competition. This is the King of the Hill. We've got the 2 winners from last weekend in 1A and 2A, and our 3A and 4A champions all battling it out. The winners in their respective classes have returned to the floor of Carver Arena for today's dunk-off. The 4 gentlemen are Ethan Kaler of Midland High School, Myers Leonard of Robinson, headed to the University of Illinois. His future coach, Bruce Weber, is here to check Myers out, maybe do a little recruiting while he's at it. Joseph Bertrand of Sterling, and DJ Bennett of Sandburg High School. All here for the King of the Hill in the slam dunk portion of our program. And we will go by class. So 1A will lead it off. Ethan Kaler, 6'2" senior of Midland High School. The T-Wolves, coached by Joe Mintus. They were 19-9. 45 seconds for each dunker. They'll dunk as many as they can. We have a judging panel, just like American Idol. They will give the scores, and we'll determine our winner here. Ethan Kaler from Midland will start things off. Nice reverse one-hander. He's only 6'2", averaged 17.5 points per game. Number 1 in his class. Oh, he was trying to go off the backboard, I think, and hit the rim. 5.463 GPA out of 5. So he is above average and above the rim. All-State honorable mention in basketball, BCA special mention as a junior. There's a nice two-hander off the glass. Wendy's High School Heisman State finalist, team captain basketball and baseball. He's the All-American kid. He lives on a farm. Nice one-hander for Ethan Kaler. Brother Eli is a freshman. Sister Liz is a sophomore and plays golf. And here's the big fella, Myers Leonard, 6'11 junior from Robinson. Let's get our score on Ethan Kaler if we can. 32 for Ethan Kaler. I would have thought it would have been higher than that. Myers Leonard, 6'11 junior, 12 points a game for the Maroons, and Bob Kaufman. And he's off and running. Oh, nicely done. That was tough. It just barely caught that red piping around the bottom of the basket, that padding. He was trying to get it off the glass. And through the legs, and it's down. Oh, he's got 2 basketballs. All right. DJ Bennett got this started last night in 4A. I think Myers saw that. Oh, he got one of them down. All right. All conference in the Apollo Conference, all tournament at Lawrenceville and Charleston this year. Off. Oh, my. Oh, that's using the old coconut. Bruce Weber rather, is laughing at that one. Myers, he's just trying to get one in there to beat the buzzer, but that was pretty sweet. Off the head for Myers Leonard of Robinson. 44 for Myers Leonard. That was good. Maybe must have played soccer somewhere along the line. All right, now Joseph Bertrand, the 3A champ in 08, the 3A champ in 09, 2-time champion of the slam dunk competition from Sterling. Oh my, a little cartwheel, backflip. Kaboom! Yeah. Well, there's your new leader. Wow. One-handed cartwheel, backflip, and a dunk. Oh, he grabbed the net and hammered that one home. McDonald's All-American nominee, Joseph Bertrand. Oh, two-hander off the glass. The Golden Warriors were 19-11 under Peter Goff. Joseph's headed to Illinois, too. He's got 10 seconds. I would say he is our new leader, but that's just me. A little reverse two-hander. He's got 4, 3, 2. He's going to run out of time. Very nice acrobatic effort there. 48 for Joseph Bertrand. These guys raising their game a little bit. Now, I say this in the best way possible, the hot dog of the bunch, DJ Bennett. He is a fun young man to talk to. He's got a lot of talent, and he's not afraid to tell you. Nice little hammer there. He thinks I should join Will Ferrell in a movie. He says we look a lot alike. Maybe the next Step Brothers film I can get apart. Oh, between the legs, he can't get it down. He's got to start getting some down. He's down to 25 seconds. Got a bad bounce on that one. 6'7" junior from Sandburg High School. Arch rival of Tinley Park Andrews, right, Rich Piacek? Between the legs. Oh, he didn't get it down. Oh, my. Not quite up to what standard he set last night. Not going to be good enough to catch Joseph Bertrand. That's just my humble amateur opinion. 37. So Joseph Bertrand of Sterling will be our champion with that acrobatic move. We're going to have to ask him about that. I think Bella Caroli would have been proud of that move, don't you think? All right. Joseph Bertrand, I was just saying, the old gymnastics coach from the U.S. gymnastics team, Bella Caroli, would have been proud of that move. Tell me about the one-handed somersault and the one-handed cartwheel, the backflip. You better tell us what it was.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I woke up this morning just thinking about what I should do, and that's the first thing that came to my mind. I used to tumble when I was little, so I'm glad it played off.
That was pretty sweet. Are you going to use this as ammunition against your future teammate?
He did real good bouncing off the head. I didn't even think of that. But he did his thing out there. He's real good.
All right, we look forward to seeing you in the next 4 years in college, my man. All right. Joseph Bertrand, our slam dunk champion here this afternoon at America's original March Madness. Back with more from Carver Arena after this on the IHSA TV network.
What's your idea of financial security? Financial security. Just protecting the roof over my head.
No matter where you're starting from, Country Financial can help you achieve it.
Retiring when I want to.
Your Country Financial representative can provide you with a tangible plan to protect what you have and plan for the future.